Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. In addition to being a stacker, I am somewhat of a prepper. Being the environment that I live in, with having a refrigerated warehouse right down the road, and about 2 miles further down the road having a nuclear power plant, living in an area that's known as one of the tornado alleys in Michigan. Certain things that we do, some people may say we're crazy, but having a go bag, or even some of us having get home bags. Well, this is something that everybody should have ready to go. Some people have them in their cars. This one actually attaches to my go bag. First aid kit. The world we live in, everything will be just fine 1 minute, and 2 seconds later, you got a trauma in your hands. And this is my bag. You can buy pre-made bags online, eBay, Amazon, whatever, and they're gimmicky. Well, let's take a look at what I've got in here. And like we always say, we're not when we're talking about silver and stuff, we're not financial experts. We're not giving financial advice. We're just giving our viewpoint on such. I am not a medical professional. I am a first responder, or what some refer to as an MFR. I'm the guy that gets there and does what I can to keep the person or people alive, or attempt to re-alive them until proficient medical help arrives, such as paramedics and EMTs. So this is just some basic stuff that any layperson could have in their kit. Now, first off, this is a tourniquet. I recommend, if you are going to get and use one of these, that you take the proper training before doing so. These are it's very serious when you get to this point. This is something that will stop the bleeding when nothing else will. Intended for your limbs, your arms, and your legs. We joke around in training about, no, you're not going to put this around somebody's neck for a head bleed. But very serious, very good tool to have in your arsenal if you need it. I believe the American Red Cross has a course, as does the American Heart Association. You can look it up online. But before we get to that, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. First of all, make sure you have some decent, this has been around for a while. I eventually need to replace this. Some good surgical style tape, whether it be the cloth or the plastic-ish stuff. Always have a decent roll of tape in there. But we're going to go back here, pull some of these out. All right. Some gauze squares. You can use these to cover a wound. You can use these to apply pressure to a wound. These are a little bit bigger, then there's some smaller ones. Let's see what else we got in here. Good to have. These are for a little bit more than what you're going to get. A little bit more than what you're going to take care of with a Band-Aid. Let's go over here and get into this. Now, mind you, a lot of those kits you see on Amazon, eBay, the TikTok shops, those, I don't know what they want to call those, but those, we've got various little Band-Aids and little antibiotic ointment, which you may or may not use depending on the situation. sanitizer wipes for your hands before you go hands-on with somebody. Got some alcohol swabs in there, some more Band-Aids just in case. Hand sanitizer. This is something else that you can have in place of a tourniquet. This is what we first responders and medical personnel refer to as quick clot. Pour it directly on the wound and it will gel up and stop the bleeding for the most part. Some Curlex, as some of us know it. Once you put these on, you can use these to hold it in place. Or you can also use this stuff, which is kind of like an ace bandage, but it's elasticy and sticks to itself. Cohesive bandage, non-sterile. This is definitely for the outer part of holding things together. Gloves, always important. Have your gloves. Glove up before you protects you and the person you're trying to help. Then we also have, this has been around for a while. This is from my days of working for one of the big three. Obviously, the gloves are cruddy, and I guarantee you they wouldn't fit if I needed them. So we're going to, get rid of those. And a lot of teaching now is with bag valve masks and such. This, obviously, I need to replace this, but this would be something that you could use to give CPR. If you were doing mouth to mouth, you would do it mouth to mask. But like I said, this thing here has seen its better days, definitely. So we're actually I'm glad I went through here and looked at this. We're going to get rid of that. It's very simple, very easy to learn, hands-only CPR. A lot of fire departments, you can actually just stop in and their medics will show you right there on the spot how to do it. Compression only CPR. Just the hands, no giving air, because the main concern is to keep the blood moving. And also, we have some more antibiotic ointment, or some of us know it better as Neosporin. Not this, you would use this on small stuff. If there's something major going on, we're just worried about getting it covered up, stopping the bleeding. And contrary to what you find in a lot of those online gimmick first aid kits, this is not a pharmacy. This is not a place for your Excedrin and your Motrin and stuff like that. This is strictly stop the bleed, save a life with this stuff. So this is going to be a pretty quick one today. They're not hard to put together. I mean, you can find a lot of this stuff at, Walmart, Meijer, if you're in the area where we have Meijer stores, not the Fred Meyer on the West Coast, but, actual Meijer stores. Pretty simple, nothing spectacular, but it can mean the difference between life and death if, what should hit. So, all right, everybody, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. And of course, you can build on this more you want. Cranky, I know you did a video quite a while back about similar to this. Go ahead and pop in the comments. I know I don't have everything in here. I just got the basics. But that might have a little bit to do with me having a little more training than average citizen. So I know how to do a little bit more with less. Some people like to, let's see, where did I put it? Oh, there we go. Some people know how to, know about the little steri strip, butterflies to make stitches. Advantage of growing up in a household where you were raised by a Navy corpsman, I know how to make them out of the surgical tape. So, but yeah, Cranky, if you watch this, you want to chime in and things that I missed in here, please go ahead. I will not be offended because, like I said, I'm not perfect and I don't have everything in here. But I have what I'm trained to use. So, all right, everybody, have a great day. Stay safe. And we'll see you in the next one. She's out.